How many friends have you made today? Chapter 15, Part 3. Alright, the Fluttershy thing was wishful thinking. This one though was something that he's gonna make sure is done. Anon can't stay here in Ponyville anymore, so he needs to talk to Bon Bon. Hopefully she's at home right now. He looks around to see if there are no ponies walking around anymore, and he can see a few of them looking out of their windows and fear at his very presence. He tries to ignore it the best that he can. He needs to see Bon Bon. Anon finds her home easily. It's a place that he's been to many times before. Anon walks up the steps, but just before he can get ready to knock, the door opens up widely. He looks down and sees Bon Bon standing there. As they make eye contact, he notices her eyes filling with tears. Not a single word is said as she runs deep into the house, the sounds of her cries echoing throughout the halls. This cannot be good. Lyra pops her head out from the kitchen towards the noise. She then looks over to the door where Anon is standing. Lyra isn't smiling at him like she usually does. She looks rather sad, actually. Anon watches as Lyra walks out of the kitchen and towards him.
Hey.
She says as she stands in front of Anon. Hey. He copies.
We were in the crowd today. Heard about what every pony's done.
She faces the floor, her eyes tearing up.
I'm sorry, Anon.
Anon definitely feels uncomfortable about this entire thing. Ponies are so emotional. You don't have any reason to be sorry. He tries to calm her down a bit.
I do have a reason. The heat, and after that, I haven't been making life easier for you.
She admits with shame.
I just...
She looks up to him hesitantly as she looks back to the floor.
It's nothing, just silly thoughts.
Anon isn't sure what to say. He kinda wanted to come here to let Bon Bon know that he was going to live in Canterlot, but now things seem to be more complicated than previously anticipated.
I guess you want to see Bon Bon.
Lyra says with a heartbroken sigh. She takes a step away from the door and points down the hall.
You know the room.
Anon is about to walk past Lyra, but he finds himself stuck. Lyra isn't a bad pony. He's kinda flattered by the thought that she even has an attraction to him. Anon isn't that stupid. He knows about Lyra's affection for a very long time. You can only catch a pony masturbating in your bed so many times before you get the message. The fact that there's even an attraction makes him feel normal, in a way. You know, seeing as he's a human and she's a pony, he doesn't know why she likes him, but it's there. It's definitely been an annoyance, but just like Celestia, it's became a normal thing for him. Yeah, talk about a messed up life. Lyra feels something settle on top of her head. She looks up in shock as she notices Anon is resting his hand on her. She revels in the feel of him as he pets her lightly. It feels as if time is slowing down just for her, how his fingers push through her mane and travel up her skull, how he moves gingerly to the base of her ear and gives it a gentle scratch. She's in love with every second that passes her. No hard feelings. Anon speaks out, just before he drops his hand and walks past Lyra. Lyra can only stand there and watch Anon as he walks down the hall, a blush on her muzzle. She looks around with shifty eyes for a second as she rubs her thighs together.
I should probably take a shower.
She whispers to herself. Anon feels as if he's done this before. You know, standing in front of a door, unsure on what condition the mare behind the door's in. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Knocking seems pointless at this point, so when he turns the knob, he finds no resistance. Typical for these ponies to have locks but not use them. He walks inside the room to find Bon Bon face down on her bed, crying. Well, it's exactly how he imagined things would look. No time to waste thinking. He's done this before, so it shouldn't be that hard. With that bit of information to urge him forward, he walks up to her bed and sits on the edge. He rests his hand on her back and gives it a few gentle pats. It's alright, Bon Bon. He comforts her the best that he can. Bon Bon removes her face from her bed, so she can look at Anon. There's a good amount of hurt in her eyes, but her face is contorted in a look of pure anger.
Why didn't you tell me?
She yells. Anon is thrown off guard by this sudden change. Bon Bon is usually outspoken, but never one to raise her tone. Tell you what? Anon asks.
About what every pony was doing to you!
She screams.
I would...
What would you even do? He asks her, and she ground her teeth together.
I don't know, I would have done something!
Anon lets out a sigh. You wouldn't have done anything, Bon Bon. Everything goes numb. Anon lifts a hand up to his cheek and rubs the sudden soreness that's there. All of his emotions are gone as he registers what happened. Bon Bon is looking at him with a certain rage in her eyes, her tears now flowing freely.
How dare you say that to me?
She says, appalled.
I wouldn't have done anything? Is that what you really think?
Anon remains silent as Bon Bon's fury turns to sorrow.
I tried so hard to get the ponies to like you, Anon, to let them know that those creations that you made were not made by me. I tried. I really did. If I knew how bad it really was, I would have done something.
Anon can only sit in silence. He knows Bon Bon cares about him, but he just never thought that he deserved it.
You mean a lot to me, Anon.
Bon Bon continues.
Our first time meeting wasn't the greatest, but I found a great friend. It hurts to hear you say that I wouldn't have done anything if I knew about this.
Anon understood now. Still, getting slapped by a hoof isn't fun. I guess that makes sense, he admits. I'm sorry if I made you feel bad.
I'm sorry I hit you.
Bon Bon looks away in shame, and Anon shrugs. I probably deserved it. The hairs on the back of Anon's neck stand on end as he feels Bon Bon nuzzle into his neck. She's always been a close companion, but she never got this close to him before. Anon just decides to go with the flow and wraps his arms around her. Ponies tend to like being very close with friends. At least Bon Bon doesn't cry as Anon holds her. She just continues to nuzzle him gently for a while.
You're leaving, aren't you?
She asks. Yeah.
You aren't coming back?
I don't think it would be wise. Bon Bon chuckles slightly. Anon feels her back away some, so he lets her go. He notices a small smile on her face.
I wanted to surprise you, but I guess it's too late for that.
Bon Bon gets off of the bed and walks over to a drawer. She reaches inside and pulls out a small envelope. She offers it to Anon and he takes it from her.
Go ahead, open it.
She urges him. Anon opens the envelope and finds a piece of parchment. He removes it and looks it over. His eyes slowly grow as he looks at Bon Bon, then back at the paper to double check. What is this? He asks in shock. Bon Bon just continues to smile.
It's the new store.
Anon looks back at the paper. It's written there as clear as day. Bon Bon purchased the small shop in Canterlot. The owner of the deed is him. I don't understand, Anon asks. Bon Bon walks up and nuzzles him.
We've been making so much money because of the things that you've made. Then I just decided that maybe we should move the shop elsewhere.
Why is it in my name? Bon Bon pulls back with a chuckle.
Well, you're my partner. You've been making all these different candies and bringing in so much money. I thought it was the right thing to do.
What about you and Lyra? Bon Bon blushes some.
We agreed that a change of scenery would be nice. The place that we got has a nice apartment above the shop.
So you're coming to Canterlot as well? Anon asks. What about the old shop? He then looks at the date and notices that the shop was bought a few months back. Wait, why is this document so old? Bon Bon chuckles nervously.
Well, I noticed that you weren't really happy here, so I thought that maybe you wanted to leave. It's no secret that you and the princess are good friends, so yeah. It just seemed like the best idea. As for the old shop, we're planning on selling it. No reason to have two shops, right? Plus, Canterlot is a hot spot for tourists.
Anon looks down at the document. Huh. Anon is speechless. Bon Bon actually planned this? She actually cared enough about him that she was willing to move her shop? It seems so surreal to think that anyone would do such a thing for his sake. Then again, Celeste and Luna have done far more. Perhaps Anon wasn't alone this entire time. For so long, he believed that it was him against the world. Because of that, he never really saw the few ponies that were beside him from the start.
No need to act all shocked. We're friends after all.
Bon Bon comes in. Yeah. Anon smiles at the thought. I guess we are.
Oh, why must Anon have so many clothes?
Luna asks, as she continues to fold and pack Anon's belongings. Celestia rolls her eyes.
Anon already told you why. Humans prefer to be clothed in public and around friends.
Luna blushes some.
To think something that we take for granted is so strange to Anon. Does he think ill of us for being naked in his presence?
Celestia looks down to her regalia. Luna has a point. These few pieces of gold do very little to cover her body. She shakes her head.
No need to be silly, sister. Anon would have told us if our bare nature was making him uncomfortable.
Luna nods at that.
I guess you were right. I just want Anon to feel welcome, that's all.
Luna lets out a sad sigh. She knows how Anon must feel.
My return has left me questioning many things as well, so I know what it feels like to not feel normal.
Celestia nods sadly at that.
I understand. Anon is doing well. We had an agreement of sorts. He would make sure to tell me if anything is bothering him. Oh, you know how Anon is, sister. He would rather hold his tongue for your sake over his own.
Luna says, and Celestia hangs her head.
I know, but still. I trust him to be truthful with me when I ask.
The both of them fall into silence once more as they continue to pack his things. Luna then notices something.
Sister? Yes? Why is it that Anon has no personal affections?
Celestia feels her brow raise as she looks around the room. Luna's right, Anon doesn't have a single thing that he may consider sentimental. All he has is his clothes.
I do not know.
Celestia admits.
I guess he never really got to know any ponies, so he doesn't have many fond memories.
Celestia feels herself become sad. She's been around Anon for a while. How has she not seen the things that were happening to him from the start? Perhaps if she did, she could have spared him for whatever pain he went through?
No reason to let your mind wander, Tia.
Luna speaks up as she faces her sister.
Anon is happy now. Thinking of what we could have done helps no one.
Celestia gives a few nods at that.
You were right, sister. Better to focus on the present and not the past.
Positive thinking, I like that. We need more of that these days. Anyways, let's get on to our very positive donators. Top donators: TacoCat598, Peter Coulthard, J Tinman, Darkside, and Only One Thing. Zar630, Raiden, Narwhals, Black Moonheart, Pastel Skies, Austin Rollins, CrazyKiller557, Stu Hex, Will, Omicron Lyre, Cris, Michael Delaire Moore, Dospo, Delta Omega, Jack Edge, RuneScythe9852, Madman Stan, Leslie Perkett, Drake Lovedragon, Hudson Norman, Stephen Bingham, LineGuy12, Sorcerer Constantine, Hudzaza, Conver, and many more magical people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.